Hello there ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is the Suited Gamer Guy bringing you a brand new video. Today is the end of 2014, being the 31st of December for me today in Australian time. In any case, I thought this would be a brilliant opportunity to make a new anime video. And this anime video is a basic demonstration showing my top 40 anime of all time as of now in 2014. The rules are that this includes movie anime, TV show anime, OVA series, ONAs. One position can only go to one series, so I can't have one season here, one season there. And it does not include seasons that are currently airing. So I can't give one to, let's just say, Log Horizon Season 2, or anything like that, or Parasite, because those are currently going. So just sit back, relax, and watch me explain to you my top 40 anime of all time. Alright. 40! At number 40 we have the anime Black Rock Shooter. This anime is a mixture of both serious, kind of slicey, lifey anime and action anime, where on one side it plays as normal animation, ordinary animation when you're in the real world with Mato, who is the main character, and then the other world where the Black Rock Shooter, which will be explained in the anime if you watch it, is in their world, and it's all actiony and fighting everything. It's got a different animation style. This anime it's pretty fun to watch, but it can be a bit confusing. You are going to need to really think about what's happening, but also the opening song is badass because it's a Hatsune Miku song. I love Hatsune Miku. Overall, if you're looking for a good action and story oriented anime which uses animation in a unordinary way, then check out Black Rock Shooter. Number 39. At number 39 we have Gekkan Shoujo Nozaki-kun. Gekkan Shoujo Nozaki-kun is basically about this one dude, Nozaki, who is a manga artist who draws manga and is currently in high school. It's also about this girl called Chiyo Sakura who has a crush on him and really just can't say anything. So instead she decides to help him in his manga so she has an excuse to go into his apartment. In any case, this is a comedy, slice of life kind of anime, and it's pretty damn funny. At first, the anime seems a bit slow and not as funny, but as the anime went along, I felt it got pretty hilarious until eventually I was laughing every about 3 minutes or so. It has a vast amount of characters which are all quite funny and original. It's not overly funny, but it is funny to watch, and it's got a bit of romance, but not too much, and yeah, so if you really want to just get into something that will give you a cheap laugh, a good laugh, and a kind of good story with some pretty good characters, try Gekkan Shoujo Nozaki-kun. 38. At number 38 we have Good Luck Girl, which is really a giant comedy. A really wacky, weird as hell shonen supernatural comedy parody of everything. This show makes fun of a bunch of animes, but it's its own anime as well. It has some stereotypical characters for making fun of, and yeah, it does a great job. It's basically about this poverty god and this one girl who has too much happiness energy with her. So the poverty god is trying to suck out all her happiness energy to balance the world. That's basically the plot. So, as the poverty god keeps trying to annoy her, it's really about the girl with too much happiness energy. As she's going around and meeting different characters, some really wacky characters, may I just add, she's really one of those uptight, rich girl bitches that you don't like. But she's a good character because she does start progressing throughout the anime to be a bit better. In any case, this anime is really hilarious. So if you yet again want to watch something which parodies a bunch of anime, which is really the main focus of trying to make you laugh so hard, and isn't too serious about the story, then definitely give this a shot. Shame though, the series does not get a season 2, even though the series does not end on a really final note. But in any case, please give it a shot. 37! At number 37 we have Elfen Lied, probably one of the goriest animes I've seen of all time. Okay, so basically, if you like gore, get into this with basically it being about this one girl, Lucy, and she escapes a government facility, which she's been experimented on as she was born with these kind of extended invisible arms that could rip apart anything. She escapes and then all of a sudden has a split personality where she becomes this very docile, kind of dumb girl who keeps saying "you" all the time, and she's basically picked up by the two main characters, Kuto and Yuka, who discover her on the beach. However, there is a past to all this as it keeps exploring, as the government keeps trying to find Lucy and basically either capture her or kill her. She keeps going back and forth between this docile version of herself and this kind of hardcore destruction part of her. It goes back in time a bunch of times to show the past, where really everything, I don't want to spoil it, but it gets quite emotional with what actually happens in the past, and you actually do feel sorry for both Lucy and the main characters. It also ends on a kind of open note, which is, you can see it for yourself. I watched this in the English dub, which I can highly suggest not to watch it in the English dub. It's kind of terrible. So if you're going to watch it in Japanese. But in any case, if you're really looking for something for as much blood and guts as possible, with hearts getting ripped out of their bodies into someone's hands, then definitely give this a shot. And it also has quite an interesting story with a good past that it tries to explain. 36! At number 36 we have the second anime I've ever seen, Another. Another is basically about this classroom which has been cursed so that every month or so someone in the class can die. Anyone in their family can die from the second generation kind of difference. And basically the classroom is just trying to seek this out. The main character, Koichi Sakakibara, has never been here before, supposedly, and awakens in the hospital after a kind of medical issue. But in any case, he's been transported to this school, with moving in with his grandparents and aunt, and he's now in the classroom with the curse. And he finds a girl called Misaki, which is quite mysterious, with an eye patch, and we don't know whether she's spooky or not. The anime is quite mysterious, keeping you guessing the entire way, and it was really great the first watch. There being lots of death, which I will explain, there is a lot, including umbrellas into people's throats. It's quite gruesome. And the last 3 episodes or so, everything, basically shit hits the fan to the ultimate degree of holy crap. In any case, if you're looking for a good anime to keep you guessing and to have quite a bit of gore, then try Another. 35! At number 35, we have the anime Usagi Drop. Usagi Drop is about a man who goes to his grandfather's funeral and finds a little girl, the illegitimate child of the grandfather. Yes, the grandfather is such a player, and with an unknown mother, which we don't know anything about. Basically, the entire family looks at her as kind of an embarrassment, and no one wants to take care of her. But the main character, Dakichi, basically looks at her and says, "I will take care of her." And basically, it's an anime about one man going into being this girl's father. It's a very lovely anime. I find it quite emotional and great how the relationship between the two keep growing. It's kind of like if you liked the end of Planet After Story, the end 10 episodes or so, you will like this. The 11 episode anime, which is a bit funny at times, but really the main essence is to be a nice anime, a slice of life, nice anime to watch, which is kind of emotional at times. So if you're looking for that, definitely give this a shot. You should not miss it. And on a second note, the first arc of the manga is what was told in the anime, not the second arc. For people who know what the second arc of the manga is, yeah, you don't have to worry about seeing that in the anime. 34. At number 34, we have the anime movie Hotarubi no Mori. Its story is centered around Hotaru, a little girl who gets lost in an enchanted forest where apparitions reside. A young boy, Jin, appears before Hotaru, but she cannot touch him for fear of making him disappear. You see, he is a spirit of the forest, and basically throughout all the summers they interacting with each other. It's a lovely anime. It's not supposed to be funny. It's not supposed to be really too fun, but it's a short movie and it's quite emotional at times. It's nice to watch this relationship between this young girl where she keeps growing up every summer with this spirit who doesn't age at all. And their relationship goes from him just playing with the little girl, just like a guy with a little girl would, you know, playing some silly games, to keep increasing in maturity to holding hands, walking through the park, or something like that. The anime is a nice little watch, so if you ever have the time for about 50-40 minutes, I'd absolutely give this movie a shot. 33. At number 33, we have the anime movie Kotonoha no Niwa. Yet again, just like the previous entry, this is a kind of not funny but serious anime which is just nice to watch. The anime is about one dude who keeps going to this specific spot when it rains, and this one girl who's always there. Now this dude is a shoemaker, he likes making shoes, and this girl is just there. In any case, throughout all the times they keep going to this place, their relationship with each other keeps on increasing and increasing. From simply just sitting together, just silently, to helping each other out. It's a nice anime to watch. And may I also just say that the animation is absolutely beautiful. It's one of the best animation I've ever seen. Every time you could pause the movie is a wallpaper, for Christ's sakes. The water looks amazing, all the special effects, special animation stuff, it looks amazing. And I really would just watch it just for the animation if you're not going to watch it just for the story, because it's really just eye candy. So in any case, if you're looking for a nice, relaxing, at times a bit emotional and a bit romantic anime, absolutely give this movie a try. It's short, and if you like the previous entry, you'll like this entry. 32. At number 32, we have the anime series Zankyou no Terror, which is basically an anime about terrorism, but at the terrorists' point of view. The terrorists are basically trying to send a message, and a girl who is involved with a terrorist attack is involved with them all of a sudden. So these three are constantly trying to perform terrorist attacks with bombs around the city, not trying to hurt everyone, with a kind of mind game between them and the police. You also see the police's point of view, and they also spend special agents and such to think. It's a nice anime. It's not really the best, being 32. But it's a good anime for sending a message and really having a nice ending. Well, it had a pretty good ending, a nice story. You like to see what happens next with the terrorists. There's always stuff happening. There's always cliffhangers happening, and basically it's kind of like if you like Death Note, but not as kind of insane. But that kind of thing with criminal masterminds doing stuff for evil, then you're gonna like it. However, the terrorists can also be seen as the heroes in the anime. If you watch it, you'll see what I'm talking about. 31. At number 31, we have the anime movie Howls Castle. Now, Howls Castle is a very weird anime. That's what I'm just gonna say. It's weird. It's really damn weird. Basically, this girl in this hat shop is given a curse by the Witch of the Waste. This curse makes her look old as crap, and she can't tell anyone. In any case, she wanders off trying to basically solve this issue, and winds up in Howl's Castle, a feared wizard kind of person. And it goes from there, her relationship with Howl and the apprentice that he has in Howl's Castle. Howl's Castle is an enchanted place where basically they've got a magical door, a magical fire. It's a nice anime. It has some funny parts. Its English dub is pretty good as well. it also gives a good message with a war that's going on, and it's quite intense. It's not the best anime movie of all time, but it's a pretty interesting anime to watch if you feel like watching something kind of wacky, but at the same time has a message behind it. 30! At number 30, we have the anime Sakura Trick. Sakura Trick is basically a Yuri anime, which means lesbians. These two girls who have been friends for such a long time in this anime are in a classroom. All of a sudden, they try something out in the classroom, they're locked in. They make out. Yes, this anime has a lot of lesbian makeouts. Basically, that's enough for a 10 out of 10. But in any case, it's also quite damn funny. The anime does use some animation tricks to make things funny, but it has some slapstick humor. It's quite humorous most of the time, and all of its characters are quite funny. A bunch of lesbians. Lots of them are lesbians. There are so many lesbians in this show. If you really like seeing girls making out, oh, absolutely watch this. There's kissing everywhere. I mean, jeez. The story is not the best. It's basically just daily life for these two girls that are trying not to tell anyone that they're really together. But it's a nice romantic comedy, a rom-com that's nice. A nice Yuri. If you're interested in Yuri, comedy and romance, this anime is definitely something to watch. 29. At number 29 is the anime movie Summer Wars. This anime movie is about this 11th grader math genius, Kenji Koizo, who's asked by an older student girl to come with her to her vacation home. In that vacation home is her entire family. So basically, he's there to pretend to be her boyfriend. It does sound simple enough, right? No, it gets a bit more complicated. The guy is then given a text message to solve a puzzle. Being the math genius he is, he solves the puzzle and sends it. This turns out to be a way to hack into the internet kind of interface they have for the entire world. So that a virus that was made for kind of government and army tactics is infected inside the internet kind of thing. It's a self-thinking sentient virus. It shows the internet in a weird animation kind of way, where it's a physical thing, whether it be in gaming, social networking, whatever. This infects like traffic lights, schedules, police. It infects the entire world, and basically the family has to kind of work together to somehow solve this. Now, it's a nice anime. At times it's funny. I watched the English dub. Its English dub is good. It's full of a whole bunch of different... It's got some action in it, it's got some really unique ways of animation, and it's got a nice story. If you're into animes, such as The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, which is made by the same director, you will like Summer Wars. It's not the best of that director's works, but it's definitely a nice anime to get into for some romance, comedy, action, and a well-told story with some symbolism behind it. 28. At number 28, we have the long-ass titled Mondaiji-tachi ga Isekai Karakuru so Desu Yo. Now, for you people who don't know Japanese, that means problem children are coming from another world, aren't they? This is a basic anime about these three individuals with special powers. They come from different times and different universes, basically, and they're all transported to this one world full of games. This is an anime you like if you, for instance, liked No Game No Life. Everything is done by games, whether it be card games, board games, kind of physical games. It's all there. These three people have special powers, like being able to tell people commands, being ultra OP and strong, and talking to animals and having animals' abilities. They're accompanied by a black rabbit, this one girl who has bunny ears and basically is able to control the whole show, or like one of the referees of the world. And it goes from there. These three begin to learn the rules, and they keep playing, and they keep trying to raise this clan and make it a better place where it's basically run down to the ground. Now, this anime is really cool. It's got a bunch of action, lots of comedy. It's pretty funny, and it's got a bit of fan services, if you know what I mean. And it has some pretty interesting characters. However, it only dips into what it could possibly be. There possibly not being a season 2, most probably not being any more seasons, is a real shame, because they really digged into the setting, into the world and its rules, and we only get a taste of that, and we're given no more. So if you just want something that's a good action, good animation, good comedy, but it's not going to give you a satisfying ending or a satisfying end to the world, give it a shot. It's absolutely something you should watch, and it's only about 11 episodes. 10 episodes actually. So it should just be a quick little anime. 27. At number 27 we have the well-known Attack on Titan. Now, Attack on Titan, what I have to say is I find it very overhyped. People would complain, how is this so low in the ratings for you? It just is. People overhype this to be one of the best animes ever, and honestly I didn't find it to be that good. It's good, but not that good. It's basically about humankind has resulted in having to be barricaded in 3 walls inside a small area, and the rest of the world is controlled by the Titans, which have basically killed most of the human race. Basically, these Titans are giant, retarded creatures and they bust down one of the walls and start invading the entire what they've controlled. It goes from there basically. It's full of action with the main character seeking revenge all the times for killing his mother, and all of a sudden he goes with rope things that grapple onto walls, and they're cutting down giant Titans' necks and everything. It's pretty awesome. That's basically all it is though, is action and a good story. A good story, action, but however I just simply didn't find it that well done. I didn't like the characters too much. It had some twists, but they were mostly you could see them coming. Some characters are pretty wacky and interesting, but the main character, for instance, I didn't like him. He wasn't likable. He seeked revenge, and that was basically his entire character trait. But in any case, if you are looking for some pretty sweet action, some pretty interesting animation style, and a pretty good setting with an okay story and some good characters, then definitely get Attack on Titan a shot, but do not be overhyped by it, because it's definitely overhyped by people. 26. And number 26 is a really weird anime called The Devil is a Part-Timer, where basically the devil from an alternate world full of magic and heroes and medieval and such is transported to our world with none of that, and he's the devil. And basically he learns that this world's rules are completely different, and he needs money. That's the devil's problem. He needs money. So he begins to work at McDonald's, which is McDonald's basically, and he's really good at his job. And it goes from there, him having problems being the devil and having a part-time job, having people like Lucifer, which for some reason isn't the devil, even though Lucifer is the devil. Other demons trying to attack him, as well as the hero from the other world appearing in this world. He finds all sorts of problems, with some people getting romantic interests and all such like that. In any case, it's really funny, since essentially the baddest guy of all time, the devil, is the main character and is likable. This character is a likable main character, and it's basically showing how bad guys can be good. That's basically it. And then the good guys can essentially be bad sometimes. All the characters in this anime are quite likable, and it is hilarious to see the devil working at McDonald's. I can't explain that enough. It's an interesting setting, I love the characters, and if you just like a nice comedy with a great setting, definitely try The Devil is a Part-Timer, which I really do hope for a season 2. 25. Just at number 25, we have the anime Gata H Kei, which is quite a very funny, very funny anime with quite a weird setting. The setting being the main character, Yamata. She has a mission in life, and that mission is to have 100 sex friends. This is basically the main character of School DxD in female version. She really wants that, but she's having trouble with her first time. she's going after this one dude, which is basically a bland generic dude, on purpose of course, and she basically goes from there. They actually build a relationship with one another, but the entire anime, she just wants 100 sex friends, but she's really finding it hard to approach the situation. She's trying her hard. It's like she's a try-hard. This is showing what girls would be if they were really sluts. In any case, as it sounds, it's hilarious. I was laughing every episode, every 2 minutes or so, from all their jokes and their perverted, weird-ass jokes. And the story isn't that bad. The story is actually quite good with its romantic interests, which is no surprise since I really do like romance stories. But it's a romance story that's successfully hilarious, weird, crazy, and has some weird-ass characters. Some really weird-ass, funny-ass characters. Definitely give this anime a shot if you really want to see a comedy with a bit of romance and a weird, wacky setting and characters. Definitely something that will make you giggle with glee and awkwardness. 24. At number 24 we have the anime Acchi Kocchi. This anime is random, weird, funny, and very cute. Basically, it's just daily life of these group of friends. One character has a crush on this one dude, and basically that's kind of a romantic storyline that goes on. But that's it for storyline, since the entire anime is just random episodes of things they keep doing. The group of friends. The group of friends is very weird yet again. They're all pretty weird. And may I just say, the anime is hilarious to watch, but it's also very cute. And they use this as comedy. They do some of the cutest things, and his nose bleeds everywhere, and it just makes the funniest kinds of jokes for things being cute, guys being hot, if you know what I'm talking about. It's just, you gotta watch it and understand that its art style and its comedic choice of comedy is moe. And really, all the characters are kind of stereotypical. We have one character who's kind of shy, but really likes cute things and gets nosebleeds all the time. One person who's really short and looks like a cat and keeps biting this dude's head, and that dude is so oblivious. And one dude who's cray, and another chick who's really cray, and you think they should get together, but that's not anything. In any case, the anime is a very funny, kind of romantic, cute anime, so if you really want a humongous laugh and see things that are cute as hell, definitely give it a shot. Number 23. At number 23 is the comedy series My Wife, My Bride is a Mermaid, where the main character is saved by a mermaid, and by mermaid law, she's either to get executed or they are to get married, and it goes from there. She is brought to his house and they live together and they go to school and such. Basically that's the plot. And as it keeps going, more and more characters are introduced and more crazy things are happening, but the overall sequence is that they're forced to get married, but they like each other. In any case, all the characters are done in a hilarious way. Every single character is likable. Maybe not the dickhead at the very end, but basically every character is likable in hilarious ways. Everyone has their kind of special, they're kind of individuality to them. Everyone's an individual. No one's really too stereotypical. The mermaid is dumb as hell, but she's sweet. Providing mermaid magic everywhere. There's a freaking shark, for Christ's sakes, that turns into a human and says everything as a question. This anime is hilarious, just like Acchi Kocchi and the other ones before. However, it takes hilarity to a new level, with being so crazy, so random, and changing the animation style in so many ways. Hell, they even had an episode where one guy was basically parodying the Terminator for the entire episode, and it's hilarious! Basically, this is one of the funniest animes I've seen, and weirdest, so give it a shot if you're into a wacky comedy. 22. At number 22, we have the series Selector Infected WIXOSS, with Season 2, which is Selector Spread WIXOSS. Selector Infected WIXOSS is the only anime currently I have a review on. So if you want a more in-depth explanation, go watch that. But what it's about is a card game. It's basically an anime trying to sell a card game called WIXOSS. But it's done surprisingly well. Certain girls, selectors, are given have cards that are century alive and they battle each other. And the rules are, if you win enough, you get a wish given, and if you lose 3 times, that wish is flipped around. The anime is really surprisingly dark. If you like a show like Madoka Magica, which at the surface seems like a nice cutesy anime, but then turns into a dark, depressing thing that makes you want to cut yourself, this is absolutely something you should try. There's always twists happening, dark things happening to characters, and some really wacky characters that I like what they do with. The card game itself isn't explained very well, but you don't really need to know, since the anime isn't about the card game essentially, it's really about the characters. When the card game does happen though, it looks pretty freaking cool with some cool animation and battle scenes. But mostly it's about the characters with their struggles in life and their wishes and how they interact with one another. So if you're looking for a cool anime with a balance of some action but a dark story that tells it quite well and is pretty interesting with some likable characters, definitely give Selector Infected WIXOSS and Selector Spread WIXOSS a shot. 21. At number 21 we have the anime Akuma no Riddle. Akuma no Riddle is basically about one girl who's at a private school classroom along with 12 other girls who are all assassins. The main character, being one of the assassins, doesn't want to kill the girl, gets some kind of feelings for the girl, whether it be romantic or just friends, you decide, and wants to protect her from the 11 other assassins. This brings an interesting story and an interesting setting where every episode is a different assassin trying to kill her with a different method. At some times it's just straight up maniac with scissors trying to kill her. Other times it's mind game, and it keeps going from there with different kind of tactics of trying to kill her. So every episode is in itself different. The main character is a badass. Basically, the main character chick assassin is a badass with a knife, able to take down almost all these assassins in cool ass ways. This is not a comedy, this is not really a romance, but it's also an interesting setting with also a kind of interesting mystery behind it, because you don't really know why they're trying to assassinate this one girl. In any case, it's got some cool, interesting characters with backstories, and I like the setting, and it's great action. It really is some pretty sweet ass action. It's not considered to be that great among people, but to me, I really liked its story and I really liked its action. And if you really want to watch an anime with a combination of those two, definitely give Akuma no Riddle a shot. It's totally worth it. 20. At number 20, we have the anime Kanon. The 2006 edition, by the way. Kanon is basically the closest thing possible to the anime Clannad. It's got the exact same feeling. And if you know what I'm talking about, then you've seen Clannad and you know what I'm talking. It's basically all about story and emotional and a bit of comedy. The main character is returning to a village he hasn't been to since he was so young, and he's forgot everything about it. There being, of course, so many damn girls there that he talks to because he's a badass with getting all the bitches. Excuse my bitches language. My bitch meter is on limit. Talking to all of them, and was apparently friends with everyone, and it goes from there. The anime itself is quite emotional, with some twists happening here and there, and some characters having some pretty damn interesting backstories. Every so episodes is its own arc with a different girl's story. Basically, this guy has to relive what he's forgotten, and see why he knows all these people, and goes through so many things. Kanon is an anime for people who want a pretty good, slow-paced story with a bit of romance and emotions, feels, and lots of sadness and a tinge of darkness in there as well. If you're a fan of Cloud, then definitely give this a shot. 19! At number 19, we have the rom-com Toradora. The main character has a problem with his eyes, where he, not really a problem, but basically he just looks like he's a deviant guy that is rough and tough. That basically being the beginning of the setting. However, he himself has a crush on a certain girl in his classroom. There's another girl in the classroom, the Palm Top Tiger, as she is called. She also has a crush on another guy. She happens to be friends with the girl that the guy has the crush on, and the guy happens to be friends with the guy that the girl has a crush on. So, at first they hate each other, but they determined that they should work together to be each other's wingmen, basically. As each other's wingmen, they try to get each other to basically go out with their crush. As the anime goes along though, these two begin a relation, start growing as a pair. The anime is done really well. It's very funny at times, and it's very emotional, romantic, and it has a pretty damn good ending in my own opinion. Its characters are very likable, especially the Palm Top Tiger. I find her to be quite charming, although she is at times kind of crazy, and you'd think she might actually chop off your balls if you weren't too careful. In any case, it's a really good rom-com. If you want to laugh, want some good romance, and find that you just want one anime with some damn good characters, give it a shot. 18. At number 18, we have the anime Sakurasou no Pet na Kanojo, meaning the pet girl of Sakurasou. Sakurasou is a dorm in this certain high school, filled with special people. By special, I'm not meaning it in that way. By special, I mean they are talented, but at the same time reckless. One girl who is a prodigy of anime, who just loves drawing anime, but's a bit really crazy. Another dude, which I don't know why he's there, but he's a good writer. Another guy is just there because he wanted to keep cats, which is the main character. And you get what I mean. Basically, the main character is forced to be there and he wants to get out. But another character is introduced. This character being a certain manga artist. This manga artist, however, has no idea how to live life correctly. For instance, she doesn't know what the point of panties are. In any case, this anime is really funny with that setting. The main character has to teach her how to basically work in society, and not just draw manga all the time. These two begin a romantic kind of connection with each other, and the entire group in Sakurasou are a giant group of friends that you find are quite lovely together. They keep having fun together and such, and the plot keeps thickening with different circumstances happening, as well as different romantic connections occurring. The anime then goes into something a bit deeper, with the main character trying to go into video game design, which is something that connects with me since I'm also someone who wants to go into the video game business. And the plot actually gets a lot better in that way, because he's starting to really try his hardest, and then he gets jealous of the girl who's really just quickly does that, no problem at all. The manga artist of everything. And she's also an artist person. But in any case, I found this, if you like Toradora, then you'll love this. I especially love this series. And to tell you the truth, at the very end, it was successfully a pretty damn emotional series. So definitely, if you want a great laugh, as well as great romance, which by the way, I'm a sucker for romance, definitely give Sakurasou no Pet na Kanojo a shot. 17! At number 17, we have the series Chuunibyou Demo Koi ga Shitai. Basically what this is about is a guy who used to have a disease called Chuunibyou. This isn't really a disease, this is just what they call 8th grade syndrome. Basically, these guys are in high school and they should be acting as more mature people, however, they decide to be more imaginative people. Having a big imagination. This guy got out of it and finds it embarrassing. But a certain girl comes around. This certain girl has Chuunibyou, where she sees herself as the dark something something. I forget what she called herself, but in any case, it goes from there that she imagines she's a dark priestess mage person, has friends, and she's crazy basically. It gets quite deeper than that though, with certain backstory to that character and the main character, and a romantic relationship is actually brought between the two as it keeps unfolding as the anime goes along. Another rom-com basically. The anime is hilarious yet again, and it is quite special with its animation. Its animation is nothing spectacular, it's ordinary. However, when they go into battles, it's pretty as shit. I mean, Jesus Christ, that looks pretty. Gorgeous. And it's weird because it's not actually happening. What happens is with their imagination, they can go into battle, and then all of a sudden you realize they're just whacking umbrellas or broomsticks at each other, which personally I find hilarious. In any case, apart from that, its hilarity and its imaginative action, I found the setting quite interesting, with people who aren't afraid and don't care what people think, and are able to be young, still be kids, and still be imaginative, which is quite interesting and lovely to see. But yes, yet again, the story does go deeper near the end of season 1 and some throughout and the end of season 2, and I found them both quite meaningful and important to the characters. Also, season 2 I found was just as good as season 1, even though some people did not like season 2 at all. So basically, as I'll just say, yet again, if you're into a romantic comedy as well as some pretty interesting characters and wacky kind of setting, then definitely go for Chuunibyou Demokoi ga Shitai. Definitely something you should go see. 16. At number 16 is another anime that was one of the first few I ever saw. This one I saw in English. By the way, the English dub is pretty good, I have to say though. In any case, The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya is an extremely well-known anime. This anime is probably one of the animes that shaped anime into what it is now. Anime. Basically, it's about this one dude called Kanon who lived an ordinary life until he met Suzumiya, probably the craziest girl of all time. Basically, she introduces herself in one way. She says, "Alright, if any of you are time travelers, aliens, or espers, please meet me, otherwise piss off." Basically, that's what she said. That being, she is crazy as fuck. Like Jesus Christ almighty. Ugh. She's actually a brilliant character. In any case, Kanon actually gets a friendly relationship with her, which is really weird, and they haven't explained actually how that works yet. Why? But in any case, they form their own club, the SOS Brigade, and as it so happens, they are formed with a time traveler, alien, and an esper. The story gets even crazier as the episodes keep going along. Episodes get really random. For instance, one episode about a baseball match that could determine the fate of the world, a mansion with a murder mystery. The worst 8 arc I've ever seen, which is 8 episodes that were exactly the fucking same. Like, Jesus fucking Christ! Could they not think that maybe some people don't want to see the same 20 minutes 8 different times? By the way, if you're gonna watch it, don't watch Endless 8. Watch one episode, maybe the last episode and the first episode. You're done. You're not missing much. Apart from that, though, I actually do have to say I really enjoyed this anime, with how random it is. Haruhi Suzumiya is basically God, in one sense. Being that she can control the world without even knowing it. She doesn't know it, yet the rest do for some reason. They're all there for this reason for Haruhi, and everything revolves around her. As I said, the anime is random. It's also really funny, and it has some really damn good characters I can get into. I really do like Haruhi with how crazy she is, but at the same time, she is also a deep thought out character. I like this enough that I've actually started getting all the books. I'm up to the 5th book in the series. If you watch this, I also suggest watching The Disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya, which is the movie, which is also probably one of the best anime movies there are. Haruhi Suzumiya, sadly, is not getting a season 3 as far as I know so far, which I'm really disappointed in, but hopefully the books can tell me what happens anyway. In any case, if you really want an iconic anime, which is funny, wacky, weird, and random, as well as a bit emotional at times, and a bit deep with its characters at times, definitely get the Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya a shot. 15! At number 15, we have an anime I actually recently watched called Outbreak Company. The story here being that a certain guy who's really into anime, by the way, I really like these kind of animes that do this, but a character who is really into anime and the otaku culture with manga and such, is transported to a new world by the government, and what the government wants this guy to do is introduce anime and manga and the otaku culture to them. Weird, right? In any case, this guy is treated like a lord. He has his own maid, he has a military soldier by his side, and it goes from there. He teaches kids and adults how to read manga, watch anime, and it's really damn funny and interesting. You see dwarves fighting over cooking mama, for Christ's sakes. The anime's animation style is ordinary, but it looks good. Its voice acting is done quite well, and that's all I can really say about it. It's funny, it's interesting, it's wacky, and I personally find the whole story of a character who's really into anime, that can really connect to some people, like, maybe me, because I watch a lot of anime, but, in any case, it's really weird seeing a fantasy kind of world all be introduced into the otaku culture like that. So if you're really into something that is interesting to see go into fruition, definitely get Outbreak Company a chance. I really can't wait for a season 2 if that's going to happen, because that would be awesome to see. 14. At number 14, we're yet again at one of the first few animes I've seen, and definitely one of the most surprising animes I've ever seen. High School DxD is an ecchi anime. Being that, what that means is that there's a lot of damn fan service and tits. I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot. However, most of the times that means that the plot and story are shit. But in High School DxD, I'm surprised to see it has probably one of the best stories I've seen. In any case, it's about one guy who goes out with a girl. He's a pervert. The main character is a the biggest pervert I've ever seen. And all of a sudden, he dies and becomes a demon with this clan of different demons. And they did the whole chessboard thing with strengths and such. In any case, he becomes into a giant harem of demons. All of them being girls and one other guy. In any case, so far that just sounds like a whole bunch of demons and tits. And the anime is basically that. A whole bunch of demons and tits. But the whole demon storyline is done really well. Surprisingly enough. It's really funny with how perverted it is. And its etchiness is used for comedy, which is pretty damn funny as well. For instance, the main character, the main demon, Rias Gremory, in order for her to heal her subordinates, she gets naked and rubs them with her you-know-whats. I find that funny. I find the anime series also interesting with how I go into the whole demonology and how their society works, how the demons battle each other for rights and such. The characters do go deeper. The main pervert guy is a big pervert. However, it's really nice to see the characters of the demons like Rias Gremory and such go into deeper detail, especially in the second season. High School DxD is definitely something that you don't want your parents to look at, otherwise they're going to think you're some perverted hentai watcher, which I'm not judging if you watch, I'm just saying that's what they'll think. But it really does have a great story. Also, just as a bonus, the ending theme song for the first season is probably the best ending theme song I've ever heard. Yeah, go YouTube it, it's amazing. In any case, definitely give it a shot if you're into comedy, as well as ecchi, as well as a whole bunch of action, which is bad motherfucking ass. 13. At number 13, we have a heavily controversially rated anime. People either hate this anime it's wrong to its core, or people love this anime. It being its position on my top 50, I love this anime. It being Sword Art Online. Season 2 has just recently finished, and to tell you the truth, I love every single arc of them. Yes, including Fairy Dance. Its arcs go like this. The first one being Ironcrad. They are stuck in the video game world with basically virtual reality technology, and if they die in the game, they die in real life. This setting may have been done a few times, is done quite well in the series, I feel. They use the whole MMO terminology quite well. It's interesting to see how things would work in the future with virtual reality. Well, firstly, let me just say the first kind of half of this arc was really actiony. It was a whole bunch of action, a whole bunch of different episodes, some really good characters. Like Selecor, I really like Selecor. I do like Kirito, and he's really OP, and he really does get all the bitches. However, the second half of that arc then goes into romance. Now this is why some people hate this anime to its core, because it goes too romancy. But I am a humongous sucker for romance stories that are done well. And this romance story I felt was done well. Kirito and Asuna are go into a relationship that builds over time, and I really do feel for the characters at the end of that arc, as you'll see if you watch it. Then the arc goes into Fairy Dance, and Fairy Dance is basically the arc that everyone gave up on the anime. I didn't though. I personally really liked the Fairy Dance arc because of the romance. The romance was the main plot-driven device of the arc, and that's why people didn't like it. I liked it though. I liked the setting of the game. It wasn't as good as the first arc, but it was still pretty damn good with all the fairies and combat and such. The anime still has a lot of action and a bunch of romance. It has a bit of comedy, it has some good characters, and I also feel like that Kirito is a badass. Third arc being GGO, a gun game, may have been probably the worst arc, but it's got guns and action and it's badass, but it has some pretty dull episodes. Then there was Caliber back in ALO, but for a simple 3 episode quest they were doing. And the fourth, the most recent arc, Mother's Rosaria, was very emotional. In ALO there's action, but it's still with Asuna, which was really interesting. I just reviewed all the arcs, that was a bit long. In any case, I feel like this anime is way too underrated by people, and then overrated by some people, because it's definitely not the best anime to ever exist of all time. But still, I feel like it's probably one of the best action romance animes. I like it enough that currently I have all the first 3 volumes of the books, and I'm planning to get a figure and such. So in any case, if you really want to delve into a highly iconic anime and see if you like it yourself, give it a try. 12! Okay, here at number 11, we are starting to go into the more really high red animes. These animes are rated 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. Now this next anime, which is number 11, is Ore no Imouto ga Kone Kawaii Waiki ga ne, which in English means my little sister can't be this cute. For short, let's just call it Oremo, because that's what everyone calls it. Basically, yet again, it's got this whole character where one of the main characters, the sister of the main character, is really secretly into the otaku culture. She's really into anime, she's really into manga, she's really into figures, yet, because the fact is that to her social group, and she's a model and such, she doesn't want to tell anyone because they might think she's a freak. Which, you know, you'll see why people would think that. The main character, being her brother, tries to help her along with this when he discovers that she's into this kind of stuff. Also, what's quite weird is that she's into eroji games involving little sisters. If you know what that means, you know what that means. The fact is that, although that can sound really weird, it's done hilariously to see a girl really into that. But it's also done quite sweetly, where you can connect with, yet again, a character who's really into anime, manga, and all that stuff. She goes into one of those, you know, like otaku group meetings and starts meeting other people who she becomes friends with. And then really, it turns into a whole balancing her otaku life with her modeling life, and neither choose between the two. But however, a very big thing about the anime throughout it is that it's a romantic anime between the brother and the sister. So yes, there is incest. Yes, yeah, there is. Some people don't like that. Personally, I don't like it in real life, but if it's an anime, I find it really interesting because it's something that you don't see every day. The anime is really funny with everything, really, though, and I find the story quite compelling as the characters go into deeper detail and are actually expressed in a great way. Some characters you don't think are that important turn out to have quite a deep backstory. In any case, if you're really looking forward to yet again a rom-com anime which is quite wacky with a relatable main character being an otaku, and if you like those kind of things, definitely give Aroma a shot. It's definitely something you cannot miss. However, what I can say, it is probably the most disappointing ending I've ever seen of all time, ever. Not really, Mass Effect 3 was pretty bad, but still. 11! Okay, now we're up to my top 10. At number 10, we have the Karaoke movies. This is a collection of 7 different movies, which are really, really random and weird. Okay, basically, I can't explain it to you, because I kind of don't get it. The anime itself, you have to watch really closely, because it has a bunch of symbolism, and can be a bit slow at times, and a bit actiony at times, but each of the movies is kind of different in its own way. And when you watch them all, you kind of don't get it. I seriously can't remember anything about the story, kinda, because it's really weird. I have to rewatch it, you see. The thing is, though, I find the movies quite enjoyable still. I didn't get it, it was crazy, but I loved it. Its animation style is really gorgeous. It's really gorgeous. But it's also its main character is put in deeply. That's something that the anime movies do well, the main characters. The movies are done out of order, and that's on purpose. So you get to see different times the main character is presented, and at these different times you can see, really, if you connect it all together, how she's brought out to be who she is, the kind of badass she is, able to have these demon eyes that can see how to kill anything and everything. Really, the anime is full of action, a bit of romance, but it's kind of dark, and that's basically what the anime is. It's an action anime, full of action, full of a bit of romance, and crazy and random. So if you want to look into something that makes your mind kind of think, and also looks pretty, and also has a lot of action, and at times slow, then definitely watch the Karaoke movies. Number 10! At number 9, we have the iconic anime Angel Beats. Angel Beats is an interesting comedy slash kind of a bit romantic slash slice of life anime where everyone's dead. The entire anime is set at a school, which is basically the limbo between life and the afterlife, or what happens after life. And it's quite interesting how it's done. Basically, students that haven't really been fulfilled in life come here and they fight this one person, which they call Angel. You don't know much about her, otherwise they'll be obliterated and go to the afterlife, which they're too scared to do, or they're just trying to fight against it. Now, as it goes along, this anime is hilarious, making jokes all the time, making fun of everything all the time. Every character is lovable and just hilarious. Its story also goes deeply. At some episodes, unexpectedly, it could turn really emotional. At some episodes, you see the backstory of characters, and the backstory of most of the characters are damn dark. They're dark, emotional, and deep. The anime is a whole lot of symbolism and gives a message of being fulfilled and the afterlife. The entire anime is funny, and as I said, and the entire anime has a bunch of characters you're gonna like. Its main theme song involving a piano is also awesome, I might add. This anime is so good that it has got me to also buy it on Blu-ray, which I don't usually do. In any case, if you're looking for something that is meaningful, with meaningful characters, really funny, quite a bit of romance near the end, and to top it all off is plainly a unique setting of the afterlife limbo, definitely watch Angel Beats. It's definitely something you're going to want to watch and maybe cry even. Number 9. At number 8 we have another well-known anime called No Game, No Life. No Game, No Life is basically where two characters, these characters being NEETs, meaning that they never go outside, they're always inside playing games 24/7, those kind of people, are transported into a world where everything's a game. Kind of like an earlier entry with the problem children and such. However, this done quite beautifully, because let me just say, No Game, No Life, colours, very vibrant colours that can burn your eyeballs off with how good it looks. This anime is probably the best looking anime series anime I've seen. It looks stunning. The main characters are also geniuses, so if you're into animes like Code Geass or Death Note, you'd know what I mean with the main characters are being smart as heck. These characters are smart, always planning ahead and such. So it's really interesting to see them in a world full of games, for instance poker, chess, those kind of games where borders and such are controlled by such. These two quickly become a king of all of humanity, and that's from where it goes. The anime is rather funny, has a bit of fan service however, and it's also quite interesting with how the main characters, why the main characters are neat, how they see the world, and how they open up to this world. And you'll see just how smart the anime can be to make you think. Not too much like you have to think about everything that's happening, otherwise you won't get it. You're definitely going to get what's going on, but the anime itself is smart with how they produce the story they give you. If you definitely want something that looks beautiful, is smart, and it has a cool setting, definitely give No Game, No Life a shot. It's great. 8! At number 7, yet again, another well-known anime. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is a pretty long anime, about 64 episodes. And it's basically about two main characters, Edward Elric and Alphonse Elric. They, in this world full of alchemy, being with bioscience, they do magic. Yeah, they say it's not magic, it looks like freaking magic. Everyone basically bends the earth, and it's like, I don't know how to explain it, but in any case, they try and perform a taboo across the world. Hope if you don't know what that means, go to a dictionary and look up what taboo means. And this taboo was to raise their mother from the dead. They do this, however, they don't do it successfully. That gives them the punishment of Edward's left arm and Alphonse's entire body. They are then on the quest to find a way to revert them to their original bodies. Throughout the anime, they meet different characters and are forced with different kinds of enemies. The story is done pretty smartly. The story involves a whole bunch of characters which you care for, and as well as some characters you might hate to high heaven. The anime involves a whole bunch of action and comedy, those two being its two strongest aspects. Its action is done really well with alchemy fights, sword fights, a whole bunch of death, but at the same time its comedy is also done quite well, where it does the whole thing of changing the animation, dumbing down the animation to bring laughs, and it does bring laughs. This anime does have a bunch of laughs. Throughout most of the anime it drops its seriousness to a level so that it can be a comedy, but it does keep head a level to allow it to be serious enough. At the end it becomes way more serious, which it does need to be. It also has a brilliantly done ending. Full Metal Alchemist is definitely something you should watch if you're into action and comedy beautifully being done together with a great story. It's definitely something you should go try out when you have the time for a 64 episode anime. 7! At number 6 we have the first anime I have ever seen in my entire life, being Death Note. Death Note is a story of Light Yagami, who is given a death note. A death note is something that he can write anyone's name in and they die. With this, Light Yagami basically is becoming a god. And that's the most interesting part. This shows how Light Yagami, with such power, goes from being someone who starts killing off criminals to someone who becomes a maniac with this power. And yeah. In the first arc season, there's also L, an investigator, along with Light. L and Light are basically two brilliant masterminds battling out of the mines. This isn't an action anime, it's basically the action is with the mind. Light Yagami, which I was on his side the entire time, is a genius. L, a genius. They are both trying to outwit each other. It shows just how, like, it's seriously probably one of the smartest animes, with Light Yagami probably being the smartest genius I've ever seen of all time. However, and then all of a sudden, the second season came. Was not as good as the first season. I liked the second season. A lot of people didn't like the second season. Second season, different characters brought in. Yeah, they're not as good at all. In any case, this anime shows what power can do with someone in a god kind of complex. And it's damn interesting, I have to say. The whole Death Note thing, being able to kill anyone. It really asks the question, what would you do with such power? Would you just not use it? Would you use it for your own benefit? Or would you use it to kill evil? Because essentially, the entire anime, you could either see Light in two ways. You could be on the police's side and be like, you know what, Light Yagami's wrong. You shouldn't kill people. You can be on Light's side though, and see it, he's right. You should be able to kill people who don't deserve to live. He's not killing innocent people. At times he has to. He has to kill them for his identity's sake. But his main goal is to rid the world of evil. So essentially, Light Yagami is the good guy in some people's minds, which is truly how the anime is probably just one of the smartest out there. 6! Okay, at number 5, we're starting to get into my top 5. These are really, really well done animes. At number 5 is the beautiful story of Clannad, Season 1 and Season 2. Some people did not like Clannad Season 1. Rest assured, Season 1 is not as good as Season 2, which is Clannad After Story. However, I did like them both. Season 1 is a combination of both a good story with romance and comedy. Season 2 is less comedic, a bit comedic, but more of the romantic side. This story is a giant romance story. That's its main driving force, romance. If you don't like romantic anything, yeah, don't bother. The thing is though, it's a beautifully done story. The story is done so beautifully. It starts off this one girl who had to repeat the year because she was too sick. It meets this one guy, and it goes from there. He starts, for some reason, wanting to help her out, wanting to form a drama club that she wants. And they go from meeting different characters, having different friends, doing different situations, and that's basically it. It goes from there. It has a bunch of arcs, and another giant, strong device plot is emotion. This anime rests on emotion. The anime can be extremely sad at times. Some people I know have cried even. There are times where I have cried too. Some arcs result in some beautiful moments. Some arcs result in some terribly, terribly, terribly sad moments. The anime in Season 1 was great. Season 2, amazing. Season 2 gives the whole after-story effect of after school, what happens after school. It's a great anime to see a relationship go from high school to after high school and marriage and such. It's beautifully done with beautiful story, beautiful emotions, and great, interesting characters. It's funny at times when it needs to be. It's not overly funny, and rest assured, it's memorable. Its ending though is kind of what the fuck. I know how it works after someone explained it to me, but yeah, if you don't understand the ending, don't worry, most of the people probably didn't either. In In any case, if you want an anime that you don't mind isn't actiony at all, has a bit of comedy, but its main driving force is an excellently built story with romance and emotions, definitely go for Clannad if you want to cry. Go for Clannad. Now, I'll wait. It was amazing, wasn't it? Alright, next one. 5. Okay guys, I just realized I miscounted my ratings. The one before was number 6. This one is number 5. Okay, so number 5 is where we're going to start going into animes that I gave 10 out of 10. Meaning I felt that after watching these, they were pretty much masterpieces. Number 5 is the anime movie, The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, which I even got on Blu-ray. All of these animes I'm getting on Blu-ray, because I love them so much. This anime, interesting anime about a girl who has a near-death experience. Basically, she actually does die. She rides her bike into a train and dies. However, she is able to go back in time. This isn't explained until the end of how she is able to go back in time, but she can. She soon uses this as a tool to get what she wants. That's basically it. This girl is able to use time travel to help herself out. She makes it so her day previously, which was a terrible day to her, was better. And it goes from there. She has a relationship with 2 different guys as friends. And it goes from there. I can't explain too much, otherwise it will spoil the movie. However, just know that if you're really into, not action, but interesting and kind of emotional and romantic movies, definitely get this movie a shot. Its ability to tell a great story with a bit of meaning behind it, as well as bring emotion near the end, was fantastic. Absolutely give this movie a shot. 4! And number 4 is actually the most recent anime movie I've seen, and just recently discovered it was by the same maker as The Girl Who Leapt Through Time. At number 4 is the anime movie Wolf Children. Wolf Children is a brilliantly done anime, having it where a girl falls in love with a werewolf. This werewolf dies. However, they have 2 children. This movie goes from there, the woman, main character, raising her 2 wolf children, where they have to decide whether they want to be humans or wolves. It's really interesting seeing this woman go through the struggles of hiding their secret from people, having to move location, having to take care of them. It's quite emotional and lovely. I can't explain these kind of stories, but these kind of stories are done in a way that you watch them, you finish them, and you wipe that tear away from your eye, and you know it's just brilliant. The movie is done so well with deciding how they have to live life, and it's brilliant to see how these children's lives cope. At start, you see them as babies, then they progress to small children, then you see them as teenagers. And it's quite interesting how they both take their different takes on how they should live their lives. The movie is done brilliantly, and it's definitely something everyone should go see if they want to see a meaningful story as well as some emotions, and with a whole bunch of messages you can get from it. Okay, definitely just go watch Wolf Children, it's amazing. Number 3. Okay, number 3 is my most rewatched anime of all time, Madoka Magica. I've watched this series about 5 different times. And to tell you the truth, it's dark as fuck. Okay, this anime on the outside looks like a nice, lovely anime about people who go on to be magical girls. That's all I thought it was gonna be. That's all I thought it would be. That's all I thought I was gonna get from it. But you know what? It turns so much darker and meaningful than that. These magical girls are given a wish from a weird creature thing called Kyuubi. By the way, fuck that guy. And they're able to become magical girls, but what they need to do is to defeat witches in these labyrinth worlds they make in order to keep living. Now, the animation style goes into a brilliant, wacky, weird kind of style when they go into these labyrinths to really show, just really give the feeling of how dark and depressing this gets. and the anime does get dark and depressing. I can't spoil it, but it is just dark and depressing with twists and turns happening. The anime's ending was probably just so good. The ending of the anime TV series was emotional. Whenever I remember that, it brings a tear to my eye. But the third movie came out. The third movie, I have to say, by the way, the first two movies are just recap movies. Definitely worth getting though if you want to rewatch the TV series, but don't want to watch all the TV series, you don't have the time, just watch the movies, they're done brilliantly. The third movie, being the sequel to the TV series, is really wacky, really weird. Throughout 90% of the movie, you don't get it, you don't know what's going on. Until the very end, where you understand everything all of a sudden. However, this movie is done so brilliantly, so darkly, and its ending has to be the most heart-wrenching endings. Oh, like, you just want to kill yourself, and not in a bad way. The ending is done brilliantly, you kind of don't expect it, and my phone went off, but still, definitely give Madoka Magica a shot if you want a surprisingly dark anime with some good characters, damn interesting story, and interesting use of animation. Number 2. Number 2 was most recently dropped down to my number 2. Very recently. Last week recently. Code Geass is number 2, and Code Geass is a fantastic anime. If you like Death Note, you will love Code Geass. It's Death Note to the next level. I may have said that I thought Light Yagami was one of the smartest characters of all time. Lelouch is the smartest character of all time. He's basically Light Yagami on brain steroids. Planning everything ahead in order to seek revenge on his mother, who was killed by the Emperor, his father. He works with the 11s, who are the Japanese, because you see how this is the saying goes. The Britannians take over Japan. This is an interesting saying, how Britannia is trying to take over all of the world, and they've taken over Japan, and they basically ashamed Japan by making it so it's called Area 11. The people there who are Japanese are called 11s. Everyone looks at them with disgust. They don't have the same rights, which is so meaningful to see as a setting. Lelouch is not an 11, but he works with 11s to use them in order to seek his goal. He gets the alias of Zero, this terrorist to the Britannians, but a hero to the 11s. Zero uses his tactics and mechs. There's mechs, by the way. If you're not into mechs, I'm not into mechs. I loved it. It's not about the mechs. There's a whole bunch of mech action. The mechs are the action part of it, and it's pretty badass action, I gotta say. You don't have to like the mechs. The anime is smart, it's genius. There's twists every so often. It's able to bring emotions ever so often. Lelouch is such a good character. It really does have the best twists of any anime I've seen. The very ending is the best ending of all time, I have to say. Code Geass is essentially lets you change mind with characters over and over and over again. You have different thoughts on characters. First you like this guy, then you hate him, then you like him, then you love him. Code Geass essentially is something for people who really want a smart anime with twists everywhere, an emotional anime, a brilliant setting, hardcore action, and mostly probably one of the most developed characters of all time. Definitely watch Code Geass. It's amazeballs. Number 1! Okay, my most favourite anime of all time. I recently finished this last week, and it's my number 1 anime of all time. Also, my longest anime of all time. 200 episodes. If you've guessed it already, you know who I am. If not, here it is. Shoujo Senshi Sailor Moon. Yeah, let that sink in for a bit. Some people might not get it. Some people might not get it at all. Isn't that a girls' anime? Well, yes, it is an anime for girls. basically, it's done in a way that both genders can appreciate it. It is made for the female sex, but definitely guys can watch it and appreciate it and like it. I loved it. Sailor Moon, in all essences, should not be #1 because its episodes are done the same. Nearly all episodes are the same. There's always some kind of villain in the background who's trying to take over the world or destroy the world or take over the universe, and Sailor Moon and the Sailor Soldiers are always battling them. Every episode is a different wacky as fuck monster, and they're always doing the same thing. At the start, you know what all it was? All it was Sailor Moon. It was the only character at the start with Luna, and Sailor Moon just does Moon Tiara action and just defeats enemy one episode, another episode, another episode. At that point I was like, it's good. However, at the start also, there were so many things that annoyed me. Long ass transformation scenes. Usagi sounds so annoying. So many things that annoyed me. But that's part of how brilliant this anime is. The anime goes for 200 episodes. As the anime keeps going along, more and more Sailor Soldiers are brought into the mix. It goes from Usagi to Rei and Amy, then to Manako and Mamoru, and everyone's just joining in. The main 5 inner senshi, then the 4 outer senshi, then a bunch of other people. The anime is done so well. So well that all these annoyances become things you love about the anime. I love Usagi. I absolutely love her character. She is annoying, but I love that about her. Hell, I miss that about her. I finished this a couple of days ago. I'm already missing it. I'm already missing those damn long transformation scenes because whenever they came on, you got that funny feeling inside. This awesome feeling. I miss the weird ass enemies that they had. I miss the controversial cross-dressers. Yeah, there was some. Yeah, every character, which it has. Okay, it has a few very strong plot devices. A, its characters. It has some of the greatest characters of all time. You love every character. I personally loved every single character in the anime. Usagi is unique. She's both hilarious, dumb, blonde, clumsy, a big crybaby, but she's loving, she's accepting. All the characters have their own personality, which I'll explain in a review I do. And they clash together. All the characters have relationships with each other, which are done so beautifully. Hell, all the enemies are brilliant. The enemies are fun sometimes, even. Maybe not the big head honchos. Big head honchos are usually mean and gruff, and they have their dark ways. But you know, the foot soldiers and such. If you watch it, you'll see it's hard to explain. They're always wacky. They're always fun to actually watch. Sailor Moon is by no doubt a brilliant anime, but you have to get past so many things. You have to get past how old it is. You have to get past its old soundtrack. You have to get past the fact that it can be a bit girly. You have to get past the fact that there are things annoying. Because if you really do watch it enough, you love everything. And you better love everything. It's a legendary anime. It is so well done. And it also, as I said, there is multiple things that its main plot devices are. Secondly, comedy. This anime is the funniest anime I've seen. It is so funny. The characters make it funny. It's comedy. It's so funny. It's funny when it's even trying to be serious sometimes. Every episode made me giggle my ass off. Now thirdly, emotion. Third plot device, emotion. Some episodes were emotional at times. Some episodes didn't really have that. Some episodes had a slight bit of emotion. But the end of every single season arc and every single movie, there are 3 movies by the way,
ended on such a high emotional note that could really give you that funny feeling inside when you're watching something emotional. Overall, every single episode did not bore me. All 200 episodes entertained me. It gets a 10 out of 10 out of entertainment, it gets a 10 out of 10 out of me. Absolutely go watch it and give it a giant try. Maybe the first 20, 30 episodes, at least the first season, and you'll see if you're going to like it or not. I loved it. Do not watch the English dub, however, the English dub is absolutely terrible. That was my top 40 animes of all time as of 2014. If you didn't agree with the list, realize this is my own opinion. Also realize that you can have your own opinion. If you do have your own opinion and want to share it with me, give me your top 40 or even just your top 10 or top 5 whatever animes in the comments below. Overall, hopefully by next year we can have some changes to that list. In any case, Happy New Year.